Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Today we're just going to do a quick introductory video for our first Let's Play, and that is going to be for the game City of Chaos. If you watched my introductory video to my game collection, you might have heard me talk a little bit about this game. For a long time this was my holy grail game. And just about a month ago, I finally found a copy at a decent price on eBay. And these things rarely go on sale. At least they rarely go on sale for a price that I find worth it. But yeah, I got lucky and I picked this up, and I'm really happy I did. This is just a quick look at the back of the box here. There's all the stuff set up. You can kind of tell why I like that. It looks like it's exactly my kind of game. A game of lots of exploration, very heavy on the narrative, and a lot of theme. As a matter of fact, I would say that even more so than a game like Tales of the Arabian Nights or any other thematic narrative-focused game, the City of Chaos is really more of a work of interactive fiction. It is a adventure game book with components, with some cards and some tiles that we're going to place. And the reason I say that is the instructions are relatively brief, just a few pages really, and the game can last up to 5 hours. We're going to be playing with some house rules, so it doesn't last that long. I think it'll make the game better. And even the designers have gone on Board Game Geek, and they've said that they left a lot of rules up in the air, kind of ambiguous, and they wanted the players to kind of interpret things on their own, kind of like a DM-less RPG, really. So there are a lot of things that you kind of just have to make up on the spot, and I think that works with the thematic element of the game, to where you just want to make it so it tells a cool story, something that you are interested in learning about. Because even the object of the game is kept somewhat under wraps. All it says is that there are numerous plot lines which the player can follow to a successful conclusion. With the random world generation system used to create the city, no two games will ever be the same. That first sentence is really the only sentence that tells you what you are actually trying to do in the game. You are trying to successfully conclude one of the plots. And so, yeah, that's pretty nebulous there. And I think that the clue cards are kind of what drives the plot here. There are, I think, 4 major plot lines. There are 5 major clues for each plot, but then you're also going to be discovering things in the action deck here, which this is kind of your random encounter deck. It's going to have activities and NPCs. And then the other most important deck of cards here are the location cards. And as you travel through the city, you're going to come across location tiles that look like this. And every time you do, you draw one of these location cards and you're going to put it in a stand. And this spot here is going to be this location for the entire game. So this would be the Guild of Mesmerism. And each one of these will have a little story. It'll usually have some kind of NPC that you can interact with in a certain way. And that particular card that I just drew was one of the guilds. And there are 8 different guilds in the game, and your character can join, I think, up to 2 guilds at a time. Or maybe it's just 1, I can't remember. I'll have to double check that. And each guild gives you a certain powers, certain magic spells, certain things to do that you can't do otherwise. And really at the heart of the game, beyond the location deck and the action deck, is this tome, the Tome of Chaos. And this is the big book of paragraphs that you're going to be reading as you come across NPCs and different locations and items. And the way this works is that you, so here's the list of NPCs in 2 columns here. And there are 3 ways that you can interact with each NPC. You can greet them, you can help them, or you can threaten them. And so let's say we were meeting the shaman here, and we wanted to greet the shaman. Well, we would roll this 6-sided dice, a special 6-sided dice here that they call the Cube of Chaos. You would roll it, and then you would look at the symbol that you rolled, which is kind of like a squiggly noose type of thing. And then you would find that here, and you would go down to the shaman and you would read page 64. And so this kind of randomizes the particular paragraph that you're going to be reading, even when you greet. So there's a little bit of variability and variety. And then you have some combat cards here, which combat is pretty basic. You just kind of pick how you want to attack and defend. So if you go all out attack, you get no defense. And then you can go all the way down to no attack and all defense. And then the enemies will pick a similar card. And then I also, let's see, today I finished up painting 2 of the characters here. So this is one of the guys we're going to be using. I really like these sculpts. They're super unique and very bizarre, otherworldly really. And I just did a real quick paint job today, but I think this guy kind of looks like Bing Crosby. So I'm going to call him Bing. And then our other character here, I think kind of looks like Dizzy Gillespie blowing the trumpet. So I'm going to call him Dizzy. And yeah, these guys are just really neat. They don't look like any other kind of miniature. They have their very own unique style. And one of the reasons why I really have always liked this game is ever since I first heard of it, ever since I saw it, I saw the artwork, read about the cards, and read about the kind of different interactions you have in a city, it totally reminded me of one of my favorite authors of weird fiction. And that is this guy here, Michael Cisco. And this is one of my maybe top 5 favorite books of all time, The Divinity Student. And even, I mean, just look at that cover. It looks like a city of chaos, and that's really what it is. It's all about this character who's just called the Divinity Student. And he goes into this city, and within this city, he is charged with filling a book of definitions of words. And he goes out and he discovers new words and their definitions. And he, yeah, it's really a interesting and highly imaginative work of weird fiction. And all of his stuff is really like a puzzle. And I don't think this is probably his most puzzle-like book, is Celebrant. And this is a very challenging book. And I love the way it starts. It starts right off the bat with just these weird kind of anagrams of the title. And then even before the copyright page, the narrator is coming on and he's talking, he or she is talking to the reader. And it just, there's a whole timeline here because this book takes place, it's really weird, it's really hard to explain. So you have like the past and the future, and the book takes place in all kinds of different tenses and different time periods, and sometimes I don't know, it's very, very interesting. Some of it is a lot like James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake, in that it's there's nonsense and gibberish and just lots of really bizarre things to explore. So then we have The Traitor, another great book, one of his shorter ones. The Narrator. This is all about a very bizarre war that's taking place. And yeah, it's like a weird war novel. And The Tyrant. And all of these 4 here, The Divinity Student, The Traitor, The Narrator, The Tyrant, they all culminate in this final kind of part of that series, and this is called The Great Lover. And this is one of the most beautiful books I've ever read. And the thing about Cisco is he doesn't sell. Like, hardly anybody buys his stuff, but he is an author's author. Other authors just absolutely love Michael Cisco. As you can see, I mean, the great Thomas Ligotti has quotes on all the back of his books. And other weird authors that I have talked to just think that Michael Cisco is just about the greatest thing that ever existed. And he is really great. And I love the mystery and just the weirdness in his books. And I think the City of Chaos is going to scratch a similar itch. So that's why I'm really excited to play. And I want this playthrough to be kind of the definitive playthrough. There's not a lot of information about this game on the web. Like I said before, there's only, I think, 2 or 3 videos of this on YouTube. One by the Ameritrasher and one by Gaming in Obscurity. And so, they didn't even really do a full playthrough. And this playthrough is definitely going to be filled with spoilers because this whole game is just really about discovering the story. And so if you have any inclination to get this game, you probably don't want to watch this playthrough because it's really going to give away everything. At least I hope so. I hope I can just make one playthrough that really shows the entire breadth of this narrative that's within this game. So yeah, probably start in a couple days on the first of the series, and I'm not sure how long it's going to be, maybe 5 or so. I'm hoping I can keep the playthrough to about 3 hours. I think I should be able to do that with the playing solo with 2 characters and the house rules that we're going to be playing with. So all right, well, I'll catch you guys next time and have a good one. Bye bye.